Now I'd like to bring Julie back on, who will tell you about our forthcoming production, Our Street. Thank you, Julie.
Hello again. The piece that I'm going to read in a moment is a prologue from our next production at Whitby Hall on the 10th of February 2012. And it's called Our Street. It basically revolves around all the different people and the different scenarios and the families living on that street. So this is my prologue to that piece. Alright everyone, hey, I tell you what, I've just come off duty, doing my job as a bobby. What we had a right to do today, I'm mugging with 3 old ladies, would you believe it? Anyway, I'm just doing my paperwork, and I'm just finalising a few things. But, see this street here? It's where I've lived all my life. Liverpool 6. All my mates are here. I mean, most of them are. And they don't live very far away either. Most of them I've had since I was at little school. Do you remember when we used to have little bottles of milk with straws in them at playtime? It's going back a few years, isn't it? My dad says it was that Maggie Thatcher what took it off us. I've got a picture of me mate, Ronnie, that's short for Veronica, from 1978. And we had massive perms like this, and big glam rock platform shoes, yeah. You remember them, don't you, Mare? I remember. Yeah, and my dad used to say to me, "You'll break your friggin' necks on them things if you're not careful, they're like stilts." We just laughed. My dad used to look after us when I was smaller and in my younger years, because my mum died when I was 2. But I don't really want to get into that now. Anyway, see that cafe across the road just there? Well, that used to be a chippy. And it had the best chips ever, because do you know why? Because it was my dad's chippy. And the chips were lovely, dead brown and crunchy, and they were wrapped in newspaper. And the best thing of all was, when you put your finger right down to the bottom of the packet, there was always a chip left when you thought you'd had them all. That was my favourite bit. Anyway, one night, me and Ronnie, we went to see that film with John Travolta. Now, what was it called? Ah, yeah, Saturday Night Fever. Do you remember the one when he used to walk down the road like this, like a big girl's blouse, shaking his bum in his tight pants? Well, that was a great night out, that. We went to see that, and then my dad picked us up and took us back to his chippy for our tea. They were great days. Anyway, the next thing that happened was, I remember everybody started to work only 3 days in the week. In fact, that's what they called it, the 3-day week. Lots of businesses went out of business, they all closed down. My dad's chippy closed down. A couple survived, like the Rose and Crown and the pub, and the betting shop, Charlie's, over there. I reckon there's always a bit of money for the drink and a bet. But yeah, the chippy had to close. My dad said it was Ted Heath's fault. Yeah, he was the Prime Minister at the time, and he said that Ted Heath, now what did he say? He was about as much use as a back pocket in a string vest. That's what he said about Ted Heath. Anyway, what's the next bit here? Yeah, so the chippy had to close, nobody had any money. Some of the businesses survived, like I say, and the Rose and Crown is just over there, and me and Ronnie used to get ourselves dolled up to the nines and go into the Rose and Crown. I'm afraid we used to get a bit tipsy on the old, call it, Liebfrau milk, whatever you called it. So it was dead cheap and it got you really, 3 sheets to the wind. And we'd come out the pub in our big stilty platform shoes and we'd fall flat on our faces, giggling our heads off. Oh, it was great. It wasn't long after that when I started to get a bit friendly with Stan, the landlord's son. We started courting and going out quite steady. And it wasn't long before I started having a family of my own. When I look up and down this street, I suppose things have changed a little bit. But when I do look up and down, I just think, there really is no place like home.